Okay, so the last part of the problem deals with this concept of operating leverage, and I think this is probably the most foreign concept in the chapter. You kind of look at it and you're like, what is this even telling me? And so here we're going to go through and try to apply this problem to it and see if it makes a little more sense. And note that operating leverage is just a very, very quick way for someone to look at a company and see, oh wow, if what can we do if we can increase our sales? We're going to have a huge impact on profit. Operating leverage will tell us that. So will looking at this cost volume profit statement and trying, but it takes longer to come to that conclusion when you're analyzing each line and going through all the analysis we did in the first four requirements. So here's what they're telling us is that market share increases by 8%. So if market share increases by 8%, we can reasonably expect revenue to go up by 8%. All right. But operating leverage is this mechanism or this lever. It tells us how fast profit will increase given a corresponding increase in sales. And it's simply a measure that takes contribution margin divided by net income at any given point in sales. It can be different at different levels of activity. But this problem says to go back to the original data, which is listed here, and it says calculate my operating leverage. Okay, so we're going to do that real quick. I'll do it in this cell here. We're going to take my contribution margin, right here, the 600 grand, and we're going to divide that by my net income, which is 100 grand. So I could do that in my head, right? It's 6. So my operating leverage is 6. So what does that tell me? That tells me that if my sales increase by 8%, that's going to have an increased effect on net income by 6 times. So 6 times 0.08, that means net income will go up 48%. If my sales can go up 8%, 48% increase is what I can expect in net income, operating income in this problem. So an increase in 48%. Here we can do that in our head. That's 148 grand. And so we were able to come up with that number very, very, very quickly and very easily. Now let me just prove to you that that's true. We could go through this the old school way and say, okay, wait a minute, Lynn, I'll do that right in this case, right here in this column. I'll say, okay, what if sales go up by 8%? That means they'll be 8% higher. They'll be 1,062,000. Let me just format this here so we get some numbers that are consistent. We would expect my variable cost to be 60% of that. And so my contribution margin would be the difference, 648. My fixed costs at this level is 500,000. And look at that, my operating income or net income is the difference between the two, 148,000. And it's not circumstantial that that matches this number here. That operating, and that's almost like magic, right? No, it's just another mathematical expression in how we can look at and value an increase in sale. And I mean, think how powerful that is, though. If you can go to your manager and say, look, we have an operating leverage of 6. That means any percentage increase will, magnify net income by whatever 6 times that percentage increase. So that's operating leverage. I would encourage you to try to learn how to do it rather than through the old school way. They'll both work, but it's a very handy tool to know.